Hello everyone, welcome to the third session in the LC online lockdown. We're joined again by our lovely careers team, and today the focus is post-16 options. So I'm going to be talking to you about all of your options that are available to you upon finishing your GCSEs, basically. We're encouraging, during the presentation, please do send in your questions if you do have any, and we'll be doing a Q&A session at the end. So hopefully you're going to find this information helpful, and let's get started with the presentation. I'm going to pass you on now to Katie, who's going to kick things off.
Thanks, Nick. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today for the third in a series of live streams from the Leicester College Careers team. So just to recap, I'm Katie, and I'd also like to introduce you to my colleagues Sonia, Lisa and Safras. Okay, for today's live stream, we're going to be discussing post-16 options. So our aim is to provide you with an introduction to all the available options for you to consider after completing Year 11. Information on each of these options and advice on how you can make the best decision for you. So when you do start to look at what you can do when you finish Year 11, it can seem overwhelming. However, if you think about it, you already have some experience of making choices about your future when you decided which GCSEs to take, for example. So the things you thought about then, what you enjoyed learning, what you were good at, what you thought would be useful, are the things you need to think about now. A good place to start planning your post-16 options is to think of these three questions. So firstly, where am I now? So what qualifications, skills and interests do you have? Second, where do I want to get to? So what would you like to be doing in 5 years' time? Do you have a particular career path in mind? And third, how will I get there? So what course, training or future job is likely to get you where you want to go? So to further help you with this, please check out our first live careers session on researching careers on the Leicester College YouTube channel. It's a really helpful resource. So the government increased the age that everyone should participate in some type of learning. All young people should now continue with some form of education or training until they reach the age of 18. The good news is there is more choice than ever about where you do your study or training. So as you can see from the slide, the main choices you have when you leave school are carry on studying for qualifications by staying in full-time education, such as at a sixth form college or a further education college. You could do some training leading to a work-related qualification. So this could be an apprenticeship or a traineeship, or find a job, which in England must be 20 hours or more per week in work or volunteering whilst being in part-time education or training. Okay, so with that bit of background and with those choices in mind, as a team, we're going to focus on the following options today and look at each in detail so that you fully understand each route. So to start us off, Safras is going to explore vocational study in the form of BTECs and other vocational qualifications at a further education college such as Leicester College. I will then contrast this by discussing A-level study and what this entails. Lisa is going to then introduce you to apprenticeships, traineeships and supported internships. And then Sonia will introduce you to T-levels and how these will offer a new alternative to A-levels. And to conclude today's session, Safras will provide a summary, and we also have an activity for you to get involved with after the session. But before we get started, we thought it would be useful to just clarify GCSE grading and how this translates to different levels of qualifications. So since 2019, all GCSE results are using the new number system, graded from 9 to 1, with 9 being the highest. Depending on the outcome of your GCSE results, this will determine what level of course you can progress on to. Achieving 5 GCSEs, graded 9 to 4, is classed as a full level 2 qualification and generally will allow you entry onto a level 3 course such as A-levels or a BTEC national diploma. However, requirements can vary, so please do check the entry criteria carefully for where you wish to study. At Leicester College, whatever your GCSE results, we have courses ranging from entry level, where no formal qualifications are required, to higher education level. So be rest assured there is a course for you. Okay, so I'm going to now hand over to Safras, who's going to introduce you to studying at a further education college.
Okay, so thank you, Katie. Thanks for that. So I'm going to focus on vocational courses. and look at BTEC qualifications as one viable option to anyone who wants to choose a more kind of vocational way of learning. So we also offer trade recognised qualifications as well, such as City and Guilds, VRQ, VTCT, now among others. Now these courses are available at Leicester College and at different levels as well. Now, vocational qualifications are tailored to the needs of the industry and provide you with a route into employability because it's giving you the tools and techniques through learning and practical work experience. Now, a BTEC can empower you and inspire you through an amazing hands-on experience. It can help you to develop your skills and give you the confidence to pursue your chosen career path as well. Now, BTEC students develop skills through skills such as communication skills, teamwork, creative thinking, presentation skills, all of which are essential to succeeding in the world of work, training, or going to university. Now, as you can see from the slide, a BTEC gives you practical experience as there is more opportunity to gain hands-on work experience, giving students added value and helps you to develop practical skills such as building your confidence. And these are very useful in the world of work. Now, BTEC students have a particular set of skills that employer value, such as, well, for example, communication skills, teamwork, and also resilience as well. And this really prepares you for working well in world of work, university, and training as well. BTEC qualifications are assessed largely through coursework, but also have some exams as well as practical projects, whereas A-levels rely purely on 100% exams. Now, you can retake GCSEs as well, and BTEC qualifications if required. Okay, now if you're worried about going to university with a BTEC, don't. A BTEC extended diploma is the equivalent of like 3 A-levels, and most, well, nearly all higher education institutions in the UK accept BTEC students, including some top universities as well. And at Leicester College, we regularly have over 500 students placed at universities each year, covering a wide range of courses. Now, if you're unsure about universities accepting BTECs, now my advice would be to check on their website, and if you're unsure, check with admissions and maybe even contact them as well. Now, if you want to have a look at the range of courses that we have at Leicester College, simply log on to our website, www.leicestercollege.ac.uk, and just check out what we've got on offer. Okay, so now I'm going to pass you over to Katie, who's going to talk more about A-levels.
Thank you, Safras. Lots of young people do choose to progress on to A-levels after GCSEs, and these are excellent general qualifications that are valued by both employers and universities. You could choose to study these at a school's sixth form, a sixth form college, or some further education colleges. They are really good preparation if you're thinking of progressing onto university, or if you're not sure of your career plans, as they can keep your options open. Your career or degree ideas may change, so consider choosing subjects which you like and can do well in. A-levels require in-depth study, and they are usually assessed by a series of exams. Okay, so A-levels can give you the opportunity to find out about your GCSE subjects in greater depth, or you could choose to study one of the many subjects that schools and colleges only offer at A-level, such as law, economics, or psychology. Do research each A-level thoroughly and make sure to find out what is involved in the course. Don't assume that because you studied a subject at GCSE that you'll necessarily like the subject at A-level. It could be really different. So find out how the course will be assessed and whether this will suit you and your strengths. For example, do you enjoy exams? Do you perform well in them? Does this suit your learning style? If not, then you may need to consider an alternative option. To study A-levels, most schools and colleges will require a really strong performance in your GCSEs. So always check individual sixth form or college entry requirements, as they may differ. How many A-levels you take depends on how well you have done in your GCSEs and what the school or college suggests will be best for you. You can normally study 3 or more A-levels over 2 years. Different schools and colleges will offer a different range of subjects and a different combination of options. So it really is best to research what's on offer and what will suit you. So after A-levels, many students choose to go on to higher education, whilst others look for an apprenticeship or a job. If you have a career in mind, check to see if you'll need specific A-level subjects by checking the entry requirements for that job role. For example, biology and/or chemistry A-levels are required to study medicine, or an art or design A-level for a creative career path. It might be a good idea to check out our useful careers resources section on the Leicester College website under the careers tab to help you with this research. Now, if you have a specific degree course in mind, you need to check the university's entry requirements. So some university courses are very specific about the A-level subjects required, and other degree subjects are very flexible. So a really good idea is to check these entry requirements, either somewhere like the UCAS website or on individual university websites. Okay, so I'm now going to hand over to Lisa, who is going to discuss the option of apprenticeships, traineeships, and supported internships.
That's great. Thank you, Katie. Okay, so apprenticeships, traineeships, and supported internships are all practical work-based options. Let's start with apprenticeships then. Okay, so what are they exactly? Well, they're essentially a real job with training. You'll have the benefit of earning a wage with paid holidays. You'll learn job-specific skills, receive full support whilst you are training. You'll also gain a nationally recognised qualification. And apprenticeships can offer great career prospects too. You've probably heard of the term earn while you learn. Okay, so apprenticeships are available to anyone over the age of 16 with no upper age limit. You must be living in England and eligible to work in the UK. You cannot be in full-time education and undertake an apprenticeship, however. And you'll see from the slide there are different levels of apprenticeships. There's intermediate, which is a level 2 and equivalent to GCSEs, advanced, which is level 3 and equivalent to A-levels. There's opportunities in some industries at higher and degree and master's level 2, so from level 4 to level 7. Employers will usually decide what qualifications, skills and experience you need to start an apprenticeship with them. This will vary from one type of job to another. You will usually find the entry requirements displayed within the apprenticeship vacancy. If you do not have GCSE English and Maths at grade 4, there may be an opportunity for you to study them or functional skills English and Maths alongside your apprenticeship, but you will need to check. Now, an apprenticeship is different to a full-time course in that with an apprenticeship, you'll spend 80% of your time in the workplace and the remainder on off-the-job training. So it's a very practical way of learning. But remember, you will need to come to college 1 day per week or as part of a block placement. So, as well as practical experience, you'll be assessed through a mixture of assignments and written work, depending on the apprenticeship role. This could include essays, reports, practical exercises, end tests and exams. Now, as an apprentice, you'll be expected to work for a minimum of 30 hours per week. Okay. Apprenticeships cover a wide range of sectors, therefore it may feel daunting to decide which role would suit you best. So we really recommend that you think carefully about what it is that interests you. Think about your career goals and where the apprenticeship might lead. Now, you do need to be clear about the role you're applying for, as there will be a process of application, interview and selection. And remember, it is the employer who will ultimately select the best candidate for their apprenticeship. So if you feel unsure, why not watch our first live stream on researching careers on YouTube, as Katie mentioned earlier. It's full of great advice. Amazing Apprenticeships is a really useful website too, and they've got an apprenticeship quiz that you can do just to test your knowledge and see how much you know. There's also a full list of useful resources on the Leicester College website under the Careers Service. Okay, so you might be asking, how do I find an apprenticeship? Well, firstly, you can register on the government Find an Apprenticeship website, which is www.findanapprenticeship.gov.uk, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. It will enable you to browse all the latest vacancies. It's free to use and a great way to start your research. Apprenticeships are advertised throughout the year, unlike a full-time course which starts in September. So some large employers may have set recruitment times, especially for the higher degree apprenticeship vacancies. So the best thing to do is to check out the recruitment process on the company website. Now, once you've registered an account, it's a really good idea to set up alerts so you can receive emails or text messages when apprenticeship vacancies are added to the site. You can also search for vacancies via private training providers and FE college websites. Leicester College has a dedicated apprenticeship team. You'll see a list of our vacancies as well as how to get in touch on the college website. You can also keep up to date with news and vacancies through social media, sign up to newsletters, and at the moment attend virtual apprenticeship fairs, as well as through job sites. And finally, if you found an employer who has indicated that they're keen to take you on, then the employer can contact a training provider to start a discussion and begin the planning process. Okay, just to note though that there may be fewer apprenticeship vacancies at present due to coronavirus, so it's always sensible obviously to have a plan B just in case. Okay, now for applicants with a disability, do look out for the Disability Confident logo, and you can see that at the bottom of the screen on the right hand side. The logo shows that an employer has made specific commitments to recruiting and retaining disabled people. Now you'll see the logo displayed on apprenticeship adverts and application forms. Okay, I'm going to move on to traineeships now. So traineeships are designed to prepare young people for paid employment by helping them to become work ready. They're available to anyone who is qualified below level 3, is aged 16 to 24 or up to 25 with an education, health and career plan and living in England. Now they're ideal for young people with little or no work experience but are motivated to work. They include work preparation, as you can see from the slide, training, maths and English, as well as real work experience. They run from between 6 weeks and 6 months. By completing a traineeship, you'll gain experience in an area that interests you, build confidence and gain a reference in which to apply for a job or an apprenticeship in the future. There may even be opportunities where you are placed on your traineeship. So you can find more about traineeships from local training providers or by visiting the gov.uk website and searching for traineeships or speak to a careers advisor. Okay, finally, supported internships. Now, supported internships are only available to young people aged between 16 and 24 who have an educational healthcare plan and a complex learning difficulty or disability. They're a great way to gain work experience, do a real job, but with the added support of a mentor or job coach. You'll also have a personal study programme in addition to improving maths, English and ICT skills. The internship can help with your long-term career goals, develop new skills and real job experience. And Leicester College offers supported internships as part of our learning programme for students with special educational needs. Okay, so now I'm going to hand over to Sonia, who's going to talk about T-levels.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, let's talk about T-levels. So T-levels are a new qualification which are going to offer students an alternative to A-levels after they've completed their GCSEs. Now, these 2-year qualifications will be made up of a mixture of classroom learning and industry placement. They've been designed with employers and businesses to assist students to develop the skills, knowledge and behaviours required for a job role and in the workplace. Now, they will include the opportunity for students to study for English and Maths qualifications if they need to retake them, to hopefully gain GCSEs grades 9 to 4 or functional skills qualifications in English and Maths up to level 2. Now, T-levels will also include a really important work placement requirement, which will be 45 days or 315 hours. And the work experience will need to be aligned to the field that the student wants to work in. So, for example, if a student wants to work as a pharmacist in the future, they could undertake work experience in a pharmacy. Now, the work experience can be taken as a block or as individual days, but the hope is that the student is offered a job or an apprenticeship after successful completion of the T-level. Now, a T-level also has compulsory parts to it. So, for example, one part is English and Maths and the other part is the work experience. and students will need to successfully pass all of the parts in order to achieve the T-level qualification. Now, there are more details about the individual parts on the Leicester College website and also on the government website as well. So each part of the T-level will be assessed separately through a combination of students receiving grades for completed work and also confirmation from other people that they've successfully passed that component. The overall grade a student achieves for a T-level is graded at pass, merit, distinction or distinction star. So let's take a look at the T-levels which will be offered at Leicester College. Okay, so these are the T-levels which will be offered at Leicester College. So from September 2021, we will offer T-levels in digital, construction, education and childcare, health and science. From September 2022, we will offer T-levels in legal, finance and accounting, and engineering and manufacturing. And then from September 2023, we will offer T-levels in hair and beauty, catering and hospitality, and creative and design. That gives you an overview of what we will be offering. Now, the T-level qualification will enable students to progress onto university afterwards if that's what they want to do or if that's what they need to do. So, for example, if a student gains an overall grade for a T-level at distinction star, which is the same as 3 A-levels at A star, it will give them 168 UCAS points. Now, you can use a UCAS calculator on the UCAS website to calculate how many points you can potentially achieve from a T-level qualification. And there's a web link if you do want to visit that calculator. So I hope that that's given you some information about T-levels. I'm now going to pass it over to Safraz, who's going to introduce an activity and conclude the live stream.
Okay, so thank you, Sonia, and thank you to the team for a very, very sort of insightful presentation. Okay, so first of all, it can be really hard to decide what option would suit you. And even if you know what career you want to do, to help you decide, perhaps ask yourself some fundamental questions such as, what are my skills and interests? How do I prefer to learn? Am I an academic or a practical person? Would I like to do a course that has a placement opportunity within it? And do I prefer exams or coursework? Okay, so as you've seen today, there are various options that are available to you post-16. Okay, so to continue further education, you can study courses such as a vocational course or an A-level. You could do T-levels, or perhaps retake GCSEs if you need to. You could do an apprenticeship or a traineeship or a supported internships, obviously if you meet the entry requirements as well. Hopefully this session has been informative and useful and will help you kind of decide what option is best for you. Okay, so now it's over to you. We have a task that you can do at home. So from the list of options that we've talked about, pick a minimum of 2 options and compare and contrast them. Look at the pros and cons. Write all these down if you wish, and then start thinking about yourself and start thinking, well, how does, which path do I take? How do these options suit me? And once you've done this, this will help you to decide on which option you can take, but also help you make a well-informed and realistic decision. Okay, so now I'm going to pass you over to Nick, who's going to talk about obviously some comments and some questions that you may have for us.
Yeah, thanks very much for that, guys. Hopefully everyone found that helpful, giving you a bit of an idea of some of the options you can consider after finishing your GCSEs. If you've got questions, please do send them in now, because we're coming towards the last sort of 5 minutes of the broadcast, and we'd like to try and make sure that everyone gets as much out of this as possible. So please do keep them coming. We've had a few questions during the presentation, so we'll kick things off briefly Let me just find the first question. So we've got a question coming from Tracy Ackroyd. Thanks for sending this in, Tracy. So Tracy says that she's awaiting her level 3 results, City and Guilds painting and decorating. What could she do next? So she's looking for kind of suggestions. What to do next from that. Safraz?
Okay, so with a trade qualification at level 3, you're very competent and you've got good work experience. So you've proved that you can actually, well, do things at a certain level, and at painting and decorating, that's really high. So your options, I would say, obviously go into the world of work. I would definitely, you know, if that's something that you really want to do, go into the world of work, look at employability skills, obviously developing your CV, work experience and so on. That's one option. Certainly you can also look at, with that level 3 qualification, you can have a look at apprenticeship opportunities as well, certainly with things like the city council and different construction firms and so on and so forth. So that's just 2 options as well. And as we've said throughout this kind of live stream, is contact us. You can contact us, the careers team, and you can even phone us as well, and we'll talk a bit more further.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks very much for that question, Tracy. Appreciate it. We've got a few more to answer right now, guys. Please do keep them coming in. We've got a question from Spellbinder. Spellbinder wants to know, I wonder if I can get access to online free courses. Yeah, Katie?
Taking that. Okay, thanks very much for your question. So yeah, absolutely, really good idea. Good use of your time during obviously this lockdown period. So obviously Leicester College offer a variety of online distance learning courses that you might want to take a look at. So we offer them in a variety of different areas. You do have to be over the age of 19 to access those though. So just, I'm not obviously quite sure what age you are, but yeah, they're a variety of different areas that you could study them in. Some kind of introduction to counselling. We've got kind of health and social care based ones, information, advice and guidance qualifications. So definitely check those out. As I said, they are free, and level 2 qualifications as well. Another kind of resource I'd point you in the direction of is a website called Future Learn. We have touched on that, I think, in previous presentations, but again, that's completely free online courses. Some are quite short and don't take very long, but again, that's in a real wide variety of areas, including psychology, care, many different areas. So yeah, so check out our distance learning courses at Leicester College, but also maybe have a little look at Future Learn as well. I hope that's helped to answer your question.
Yeah, thanks very much for that.
I'll just add, if you email us, we can give you a list of others that you might be interested in as well. Yeah, just send us an email.
Yeah, that's all right. And I think this is the correct email address to get in touch with you guys. Is that right? Yeah. So please do feel free to contact this team on that email address. At the moment, they're all still working. Obviously, they're not at the college physically in person, but contactable there. So please do send any other questions through to them. Thanks everyone for your questions so far. We have got a couple more. Also, just something to note with the last question about free online courses. The team that we're with today, Careers, are going to be doing another session next week, which is all about productivity during lockdown. So that might be a really good one for you to check out to give you some ideas of ways to keep yourself busy and stay productive. Next question comes from Caroline Sykes. She's also wondering whether we can share the slides from the presentation. I'm sure that's something we could look into following the broadcast. Would also encourage you to check out the previous live streams that we've done with the careers team in the last couple of weeks. Anyway, Caroline's question is, do you have a list of care employers for 2020 T levels, please?
Well, I could take that, to be honest. Sure. Yeah, we do have a list. Careers advisors, we don't personally keep a list of those of a list of care providers. I think that what I'm going to suggest is just email us in. If you just email us at careersadvisors@leicestercollege.ac.uk, we can forward it to the people that look after T levels at Leicester College and see what we can do. I don't know if Sonia wants to add to that
as well. I can add to that. Okay, yeah, thanks for your question. Regarding T levels, obviously the Leicester College as will be starting in 2021. We do have work-based coordinators that work with a wide range of employers to connect, obviously, to source those supported placements opportunities. So I think, you know, obviously you can come back and contact us, but also contact curriculum as well, who will be able to provide advice. But there is that support in place, that will be in place. There's a lot of work going on in preparation for the T levels that will be starting soon. I hope that helps a little bit as well, Caroline.
Yeah, apologies for that. Didn't mean to click that. A new question just came in when we were scrolling down there. Thank you for answering that, guys. Hopefully that's helpful, Caroline. So got a question from Joanne Elizabeth. She's wondering, will potential students going into year 12 still get an interview?
Hi Joanne, thank you for that question. I can try and answer it. I think it's a very pertinent question. I think it's still very much dependent upon the individual college, whether students are going to get an interview. So I mean, we're still obviously waiting to hear on that as well. There will be some courses where we will make conditional offers to students and they will be without an interview, because there are some courses that just don't need an interview beforehand, but other courses that might. Now, obviously those finer details haven't yet been ironed out completely, because we are still waiting for government advice as to when the college can open, and I'm assuming that a lot of colleges are still going to be in that position as well. So it's going to be let's wait and see, and let's wait and see what next steps are going to take place with regard to that. But don't worry, you know, that, I mean, our students are still being made offers all the time and accepting offers as well, so it won't necessarily put them at a disadvantage if they don't necessarily have an interview.
Yeah, thank you for that, Sonia. As you can imagine, it's quite a difficult time to give a straight answer on questions like that, but we appreciate it's quite concerning for people. So do feel free to ask us about it, but our information is also a little bit limited around as and when things like that are going to start happening. I don't know, we're coming towards the end of the session now. I don't know whether anyone from the team, do you think is there any other questions or sort of areas that you think you'd want to cover before we kind of wrap things up? Yeah, Sonia?
So, I mean, I'm often asked the question as to whether it's still too late to apply for a course at Leicester College, and what's the deadline as well. There is no deadline as such. We recommend that you get an application in as soon as possible, though, and the best way to apply through Leicester College is via the website. If you do it that way, then we'll have all of your information, and there's a website there. It's not too late to apply at all. The later you leave it, for example, August and September, there might be then a chance where you might miss out on a place. So we would always recommend that you apply as soon as possible. Now, if you're unsure about whether that course is suitable for you, or you just need advice about whether your qualifications are going to be suitable for a particular level of course, as Safra has mentioned, do please get in touch with us. You can email us, and we can advise you about the course and the level that might be best for you. But please apply as soon as possible.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks for that, Sonia. And just to remind people, so this is the email address you can contact the careers team at. We are doing live streams every week, so please do make sure that you come and check them out every Tuesday from 11 AM with the careers team, and there'll be other areas of the college also getting involved. Next week, we've got the careers team back again, and they're going to be talking to you about, oh, sorry,
Nick,
no,
sorry,
next
yeah.
week. Apologies.
Yeah.
Not next week, is it? 2nd of June. Yeah.
2nd of June.
So, yeah, 2nd of June will be when the next career session is, and they're going to be talking to you about being productive during lockdown. So, make sure you check that one out. And thank you to everyone who's been involved and for your questions coming in today. And we hope to speak to you all again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.